Dan Illman, Mike Beer, the DRF race of the day, Wednesday, November the 22nd, race number 7 at Penn National, one of 3 restricted stakes races on the card. Let's throw up the field. Good edition of the Shamrock Rose. This is 100 grander going 3/4 of a mile. Race number 7, 2-year-old fillies. These are Pennsylvania breds. Full field of 12 in here. Butch Reed's got the number 1 Carmelina, Mike. She's won 2 of 3 on dirt and is getting a little bit of distance and class relief after trying turf. And you can understand why they tried turf. She's bred for it.
Yeah, she has enough turf pedigree to give her a run on that surface. Not well, on the dam side anyway. I'm not expecting Maximus Mischief to be much of a turf sire, but there's turf on the bottom. She didn't really run that well in the Salima last time. They'll cut her back. They'll return her to dirt, and her dirt form is quite good.
She, like many of these 2-year-old fillies, has plenty of early speed. We'll throw up the time form U.S. pace projector. Carmelina, the number 1, expected to be up close to the pace. The 11 Chublin's shown some speed, but the 12 Paula, surprise. Wow, she really had gas with the addition of blinkers last time out, Mike, and I'm expecting her to be forward despite breaking from the far outside.
We'll see how badly the outside draw compromises are here, and the 11 for that matter as well. Both of them showed good speed in their wins, so I guess that's a positive. There are other horses to the inside, though, that could certainly be fast enough to make this pace contested at the least, and I think Carmelina's one of those. She's got the rail. She probably has to go.
Carmelina, the number 1's one of 2 prior stakes winners going into this race, and her only loss on dirt came when she was likely in too tough, dealing with a very fast pace in the Schuylerville. I talked with Butch Reed. He really liked her race at Colonial 2 starts back because she had to sit off another horse and she had to kind of grind it out, but it was more that it was a long trip down from Saratoga. She's a very flighty filly. She gets very, very nervous. And talking to Butch, he's a little worried about this inside post, not for the reasons you might think. If she doesn't break, she gets shuffled back. He's worried about her standing in the gate while they load 11 more.
Yeah, that could be something to concern yourself with, especially if she's going to be the favorite in here. I feel like she probably should be the favorite, Dan. I mean, her dirt form is good. The win 2 back, going 5 furlongs, she did run fine in there. I don't think you could be blown away by their performance. She was pretty heavily favored there. The horses that ran 2nd and 3rd got ahead of her, and she did have to do a lot of chasing, and she eventually closed them down. I just like her, Dan. I liked her debut quite a bit, and I think she's done some good things since then. She's the horse to beat. Not sure how short I'd go on her.
Speaking of heavily favored, the number 2, Rock and Reward, graduated second time out over the Tapeta at Presque Isle Downs at 1-5. That came on the heels of a just missed runner-up debut effort against the boys. I'm not sure, Mike. I watched that Presque Isle race. I thought she had a really good trip up close to an easy pace. She didn't change leads and really had to work.
Yeah, I didn't like that win either, especially at 1-5. I mean, the horse that she struggled to get by, Queen of Hearts, who finished 3rd, was 1,000,000 to 1 in there. And it took her forever to get by that horse, but she did it. I'll give her credit for that. I guess the hope here, Dan, is that she's just going to be better on dirt than she is on the all-weather. And I think that's a possibility. I mean, her pedigree sort of slanted a little bit towards dirt, so maybe she'll be better on this surface.
I think that's a good point. The dam won 5 races on the dirt. The second dam was a graded stakes winner in Western Canada on the dirt. So maybe she'll take a step forward. Got to think the pace is going to be a lot faster than it was last time out. Face Alone is the number 3. Very impressive winner last time out, albeit against $16,000 maiden claiming competition at Penn National. She just was able to grab the lead against this field, and they were at her mercy in the stretch. It's going to be a much tougher assignment on Wednesday.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to like the visual on this race. She got right to the top, and here she is ridden. This is ridden out in this race. She smashes this field, but it's a field of 16K claimers, and it comes back with a 42, Dan. I mean, she obviously has to take a step forward here.
The 4 is Back 40. Affiliate took some money for her career debut. She was bet down to favoritism. She didn't break very well, but she ran on nicely to be second. She figures to move forward off that race, but I wonder if this is a little bit too much too soon for only her second start.
Yeah, I don't love them going right into a stakes race with her off of the debut. And I say that being someone who thought she ran really well on debut and was probably best in that race. The horse that beat her is drawn right alongside in post number 5. This horse ran really well first time out. And maybe she'll be able to take a step forward here, Dan. Her debut was good. I just don't like them running her back in this race.
Here's the filly that beat Back 40 in that race. This is the number 5, Lady Ahava. We'll watch her performance, and she showed improved speed. Second time out, she makes the lead turning into the stretch. Back 40 is going to emerge from the back of the pack to make it relatively close to the wire, but Lady Ahava was moving very, very well till about the 8th pole here, and then she has enough left in the tank to hold off the runner-up.
Yeah, this was very confidently ridden into the stretch. That's why I think back 40's performance is so much more impressive. This horse looked like she was going to win for fun, and then she actually had to get set down there in the late stages because back 40 was going to catch her. This horse ran fine in there. She'll have to run better than that against this field.
Number 6, Normandy Life, beat Open Maidens in her second lifetime start, but she was well beaten in 3 subsequent tries against stakes horses. You might want to forgive the last race. It was on the synthetic at Presque Isle Downs, but I needed to see more in her starts 2 and 3 back. Maybe she didn't care for the slop 2 starts back.
Yeah, I mean, you could make at least that excuse for her, but it's not like she was ever really close. And she didn't. The problem is she didn't run very good 3 starts back. The start prior to that in another stakes race, Dan. I mean, she just wasn't competitive behind a horse who's back in this field.
First Foray is the number 7. This is a first-time starter, not only facing winners, but doing so in a stakes race. The sire has a good winning percentage with first-time starters. The dam was a 2-year-old stakes winner on the synthetic, albeit via disqualification. Again, always a tough ask for these first-time starters.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a good sign that they want to debut her in this race. A trainer who really knows what he's doing and wins a lot of races. Me, Dad. I'd never bet a first-time starter if I didn't have to, and I'm not going to bet this one against this field.
The trainer John Service will saddle the next 2 runners we'll talk about, including the 8 Jody's Ruby. This horse won the Miss Blue Tie-Dye Stakes at Parks against Pennsylvania breds 2 starts back. Might not have cared for the slop last time out in the imply, although, boy, I wish he ran a little better.
Yeah, it didn't run well at all last time. Did get the maiden win in a stakes race 2 starts back, but that was another really slow race. She debuted against Carmelina, who's back in here. That wasn't a terrible performance then, but she tried Carmelina. She was right up there trying to race her and just was no match. I'm not sure that she's made it any closer since.
Service also has the 9 Dewey, who won her first 2 starts in front-running fashion. I just don't think she cared for that synthetic track last time out in the finest city. She broke pretty sharp in that race, Mike, but she was kind of ridden along early, floated very wide on the turn when already beaten, and at least she stayed on to finish in mid-pack. I think she'll be better getting back to dirt.
Yeah, I think that has to be the hope here. I'm with you. I don't really care too much about the most recent start. Her first 2 races were good. I mean, her debut, I'll be honest, I didn't love it. They had to ride her hard right from the gate, and then she drifted very badly through the stretch there. To me, it wasn't the most impressive debut win, but she certainly took a step forward in her second start. That was a much better performance going this distance.
Service has 2. Trainer Bruce Kravitz has 2, including the 10 plus size Courage. Filly it just missed in her career debut. Looked pretty good second time out at Parks. This is a filly that sort of made a sharp inside move on the backstretch, angled out to split rivals 3 wide, makes the lead in the stretch, and once she changes leads right about here, it is over.
Yeah, this is good stuff here. I mean, she looked like she was going to win from a long way out. Made a nice move on the turn, got on top of the leaders, and then she wins it going away. And these 1-2 finishers, she buries the runner up, and they left everybody else far behind. This is a good performance for a filly who also ran really well first time out. I mean, that was a race where it looked like she was maybe going nowhere in the upper stretch, and she almost got there. She was really running at the end of that race.
Both of Chublin, number 11's victories have come against claimers, one going a half mile around the bull ring at Timonium, and then another over a very speed-favoring track at Delaware where she just was able to get absolutely loose. That was not the case last time out at Laurel Park, and I wonder if at this point in her career she is a need-to-lead type. She's going to be close to the pace, but they're going to be hitting early.
I thought it would be maybe a little too fast for her. I respect that she's a 2-time winner, and I respect that she got a figure 2 starts back that I guess makes her pretty tough in here. But I did not like that win 2 starts back on the wet track. She got the job done there. It looked like a bad field to me, and she was not, in my opinion, that impressive winning that race. If she had one other race of the 4 that I thought was pretty good, maybe I would have tried to talk myself into her. But I don't like the win, and I don't like any of the other things that she did.
Kravitz has the 10. He'll also tighten the girth on the 12. Paula's Surprise. You can throw out her debut. She just didn't break that day when running against plus size Courage. Much improved second out with blinkers, much more focus, much more early speed, much better break. And she wins this race very comfortably, Mike. And I thought that first quarter mile, it was pretty quick at Penn National for maiden specials, 22-1. She's very strong in the lane.
Yeah, she cleared from the outside post in this race. Then she just kept going. The horse that winds up finishing second to her was the favorite, just chased her all the way around the track and could not make it close. This was a pretty big step forward. It's also very interesting, Dan. You mentioned that she debuted in the same race as her stablemate plus size Courage, and she was about half the price of that horse. I mean, she took way more money, didn't do any running, but really improved second time out.
Before we take a look at our top selections, please click the subscribe button on the Daily Racing Form YouTube channel for for the latest DRF videos. Topic time in the Shamrock Rose. I think we both agree that Carmelina is the horse to beat. I think we all both agree that we don't want to really go too short on her. So we're going to go with horses, maybe a little bit of upside, plus size courage for you. I love the fact that she sat off the pace last time out, showed some gears moving inside and out. I think she gained a lot of experience from that race. Might get a setup here.
Yeah, that's what I like about her too, Dan. I like both of her races anyway, but I like the fact that in both of her starts so far, she was making runs through the stretch, and there should be some pace in front of her in this race.
She's my second choice. I want to use her along with the 9 Dewey Doit. I just don't think handled the Tapeta last time out. Gets back to dirt and maybe chasing last time out kind of helped her from an experience standpoint because it's unlikely she'll make the lead as she did in both of her 2 wins at Parks. Mike's going to go 10, 1, 9, and 4. I'll go 9, 10, 1, and 2 in the Shamrock Rose. Wednesday's race of the day at Penn National. Good luck.